Year of the Tree. Sandra Fallon, why don't you introduce the people that you're with, and we'd love to hear a presentation.
Sure. Well, I'm Sandra Fallon. I live in...
Sandra, if you'll step up to
Oh,
the
yes,
microphone.
at the microphone.
And if you'll identify, again, give us your name and where you live.
Okay, my name is Sandra Fallon. I live at 39 Buchanan Avenue, which is in Upper South Park. And my cohorts organizing Year of the Tree are Ann Payne and Alice Meehan, and we're each going to make about a 5-minute presentation. And Ann is going to start.
I'm Ann Payne. I live at 341 Sanford Street in South Park. My job here is to recap however many months it is, 8 months of the Year of the Tree in 4 or 5 minutes, so I'm going to go really fast. But I do want to start at the very beginning by saying that I understand that the forests of West Virginia, almost the entire state, are one of the only and the largest biologically diverse rainforests on Earth, temperate rainforests on Earth. You know, if you go to Colorado and you look, there may be 2 species of trees, but you drive up to Cooper's Rock, you might see 37 species of trees. So we're known for our diversity. Hold that thought, and let me start with the Year of the Tree activities. It really started with somebody taking down a whole bunch of trees in a neighborhood and causing a great deal of gnashing of teeth and crying children. That started the conversation about trees, and the response that we got from people were saying, oh, I feel so bad for you because I love this tree, or I love that tree, or one of my best childhood memories was climbing up into a tree, or I drive home from work and driving by this beautiful tree just pacifies me. And so we kept picking up on the fact that there were so many people in Morgantown that really loved trees, but as a community we never really celebrated that appreciation. So we thought, well, let's just go with it. So we did a little research. We wrote up a proclamation in late 2012. We presented to the city clerk, Linda Little, our little proclamation, and on December 18th of 2012, the then sitting council listened to then Mayor Jim Minella do a beautiful job of reading our proclamation, and the City Council unanimously declared 2013 to be the Year of the Tree. So by January 1st, of 2013, we already had a number of individuals who were excited about this idea, and we also had groups who had written to City Council supporting the idea, and groups were beginning to come up with ideas of things that they could do and how they could contribute. So let me just quickly say some of the things that have happened in the last 8 months. There have been so many, but there have been a number of instructional hikes by different experts, of which we have many here in Morgantown. There was a film event in which the director came to the town. We had a tea tree party. There was a Valentine knitting event in which people knit decorations for the downtown trees, tree mask, costume making, a library book donation program that's still ongoing, several outdoor celebrations that featured the trees. There was a religious tree blessing ceremony that was actually canceled by a huge snowstorm, but we tried. There's now all year a regular newspaper feature about trees. We had 25 people marching in the 4th of July parade for the trees, making big signs and things. There's a big tree workshop for seniors. There's been a wonderful library program for children on tree-based, among other things, and there were some really fun things coming up. I want to read the list of supporters for this. Now, this is not the individual supporters, which would take until 10 o'clock, but the groups. Morgantown City Council, that would be, and these groups all need to be thanked and appreciated, so that would be last year's City Council and this year's City Council, and we thank you very much. West Virginia University, and listen to this, just listen to the quality of this list and see what you notice about this. The Morgantown City Council's West Virginia University Osher Lifelong Learning Institute, Morgantown Neighborhood Coordinating Council, and some of the neighborhood groups also supported it. Arts Monongahela, the Morgantown Tree Board, Friends of Deckers Creek, Morgantown Green Team, the Mountain Institute, which is a statewide group, Morgantown Public Library, Mountaineer Audubon, West Virginia University Core Arboretum, Community Coalition for Social Justice, West Virginia University Division of Forestry, Bliss 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 Yoga Center, the Mon Group of the West Virginia Sierra Club, Tatum's Nursery and Garden Center, the Cooper's Rock Foundation, the Tree of Life Synagogue, the West Virginia Botanic Garden, Morgantown Urban Landscape Commission, the West Virginia Land Trust, another statewide organization, Monongalia Friends Meeting, West Virginia University College of Creative Arts, the United Universalist Fellowship, West Virginia University College of Law's Land Use and Sustainable Development Clinic, MUB, Bow Park, the Village at Heritage Point, West Virginia University Office of Sustainability, the U.S. Forest Service, and Smokey the Bear. I don't know if you see what that has in common with the forest, but I think the diversity of people that have been pulled together to support the trees is really amazing. And I would like to say that we cleverly designed it that way, but it just happened that it formed a community. Just like the trees, you have oaks and willows and sassafras and cherry trees and millions of other trees living together, and they don't care about gender, and they don't care about age, and they don't care about politics. They just cooperate, and I feel like that's what's happened in this initiative, that we've had all these diverse people, and all these other things and perceived differences haven't mattered. So I thought certainly we have learned something from the trees, and we have learned a lot about the trees, and Sandra is going to talk to you a little bit about that. Thank you very much.
Okay, I wanted to thank you all for having us present tonight as well. We appreciate it. And I also want to thank the Morgantown Tree Board, who has posted a lot of information about trees on their website, and I have literally borrowed from their information. But we all notice and appreciate the beauty of our trees along our streets, in our neighborhoods, and next to our homes. But as they're standing there, seemingly so still and shady, they're actually very hard at work, providing many services for us at no cost, at great benefit to our community and to ourselves. Trees clean the air. Each tree can absorb up to 10 pounds per year of dust, pollen, smoke, and other harmful gases like automobile exhaust. Trees absorb and store carbon dioxide and release oxygen, which of course we need to breathe. And carbon dioxide is mostly produced from the burning of fossil fuels, coal, oil, and natural gas. And by absorbing carbon dioxide, trees help reduce the greenhouse effect from these fuels, which contributes to global warming. A 10-year-old tree, for example, can store up to 48 pounds of carbon dioxide per year. And in fact, many countries around the world actually have tree planting efforts in place to counter the greenhouse effect. Of course, trees use carbon dioxide, water, and sunlight for photosynthesis to produce food, and oxygen as a byproduct of that process. And one tree produces enough oxygen for 2 to 4 people to breathe every day. And when it rains, tree leaves and tree bark retain water. Some trees can retain up to 100 gallons of water. And the tree roots also absorb water. So this prevents quite a bit of rain and storm water from rushing through our yards, our streets, and our underground pipes, carrying with it all the pollution it picks up along the way and into our rivers, streams, and lakes. And without trees and other vegetation, all of this rain and storm water, called runoff, would go directly into our waterways, which of course are our drinking water sources. Trees help regulate temperature by shading buildings and concrete. Actually, they can reduce the heat of a building by 20 degrees on a summer day. And when water evaporates from the leaves of a tree, it produces a cooling effect equal to 10 room-size air conditioners operating 20 hours a day. So that's a very nice, actually can translate into a nice savings. If you have as few as 3 trees positioned alongside your house, you can save up to $250 a year in energy costs. Of course, trees provide habitat and food for birds and other wildlife. And viewing and spending time among trees can help reduce stress for all of us, calm us down, rejuvenate us. And there's actually evidence that spending time in nature can help children reduce the, actually improve the behavior of children with attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. They're able to improve their concentration and improve their ability to complete tasks. And of course, trees improve property value and neighborhood appeal. And there's even evidence to show that shoppers will spend more money in a well-landscaped area, pay more for parking, and make larger purchases. So those are just some of the many benefits provided by trees to our community. And just a couple more details, some specifics about Morgantown's trees. We have over 1,300 trees growing along our city streets. These are called street trees, and they're managed by the city under the guidance of the tree board, who are volunteer tree experts who advise city council. We have 90 different species of trees. The most common are maple, plum, and spruce. And those services we talked about translated into a dollar value equal $68,000 worth of benefits to the city by absorbing carbon, retaining rainwater, and cleaning the air. And so for every $1 spent on tree care, we get $4 return on investment, which is a pretty good return. So trees truly are essential to our health and well-being. And we also want to talk about an important activity coming up for Year of the Tree called our Biggest Baddest Tree Challenge. And it's designed to get us all outside appreciating our trees a little more. And Alice is going to talk about that in a minute. But first, we want to show you a 2-minute video about the Biggest Baddest Tree Challenge.
And I would like to thank the City of Morgantown, especially Susan Sullivan and Linda Little and Jeff McCorsky for hosting our activity and nomination forms on the city website. I'm going to talk a little bit about the Big Bad Tree Challenge and the activities that we are promoting for the rest of the year. We'll try and keep this brief because we've covered a lot of ground, I think Sandra and Ann have. But just over the past 10 months, we have come to realize and appreciate that trees are not just beautiful, but they do serve such a vital role in our lives. Thanks to trees for helping us with oxygen, helping to clean the air, prevent flooding, cool us off, relieve stress, feed us, and help us conserve energy. Even looking out my back door, I'm I have a bird's eye view because we live on a hill. So I am paying a lot more attention to my beautiful trees and the birds that are in them than I did last year. So even driving down the interstate, in many areas we see these green, fluffy plumages of trees, and for that I am truly grateful. So in appreciation, we are initiating the Big Bad Tree Challenge, and the challenge will hopefully be a fun for individuals, groups, or neighborhoods to walk about in the city. So we will be searching for notorious trees in town. Notorious tree is something that's big, beautiful, or might have a special story or meaning to you. So we are asking that you measure them as best you can, take pictures, share stories where there's special meaning that tree might hold for you. So the idea for this Big Bad Tree contest came from a Parkersburg forester named Turner Sharp, who has been in charge of a big tree contest in Parkersburg for about the past 5 years. In 2011, he took on the task, a daunting task, of updating the West Virginia Tree Registry by coordinating a statewide effort to not just remeasure, but locate 300 West Virginia trees in the registry that had not been measured for over 10 years. So our form and our guide on the back side, if you'll see, are adapted and somewhat simplified from Mr. Sharp's. He's very scientific. Anyway, you can find the West Virginia Tree Registry at the Department of Commerce under the Division of Forestry on in the Big Trees database. Also, Parkersburg keeps a database of their cool local trees, and they regularly plant new trees, and they do retain an arborist for maintenance of those trees. So what I'd like to do is to go over the form just briefly and the guide. Did everybody get one of these forms? Did you all have the form? Hold on. A couple forms out there and some tree books to give to these folks over here. Okay, so numbers 1 and 2. First, you find the tree that you want to nominate, obviously, and you look up the scientific name. Most of the trees in West Virginia are in this booklet that was developed by, I think it was Ray Hicks from the West Virginia Department of Agriculture. Actually, he is a forester. It identifies a lot of our trees, but not all of them. Actually, the plum tree is not in here, but no problem. On the back of the form, I have found that the Arbor Day Foundation has a wonderful user-friendly website that is very complete and very comprehensive, very easy to use. The circumference of most trees is simply measured, as was in Sandra's presentation, by using a tape measure. Now, if your tape measure happens to not be big enough, you can use a non-flexible piece of string and then measure the piece of string. Circumference breast height, when you're measuring the circumference, it should be 4.5 feet high, which is some people's chest, but for me it's up to my chin. So this is 4.5 feet here. We settled for an easy but less exact way of measuring the height of trees by stacking friends, as was in the video. Did you all understand that? Okay. So we're not using the exclusive instruments such as calipers and clinometers, but I do have a caveat that goes with that. That if we get 2 trees in competition for size, or if we find something, a behemoth out there in Morgantown, we might have to call in the forestry pros with their instruments to do the measuring. So not a problem. We don't want anyone to get bogged down in measuring. we'd rather everybody has a good time, learns a little bit, and do the best you can. Let's see. So record where the tree is on the property, and be sure to get permission, as was in the video. Give the condition of the tree and include any item of interest or any special meaning the tree might have. So a recent tree story was about, that I heard, it was a couple weeks ago. A woman knocked on my friend's door because she had, it was one day last year, this woman had grown up in her house, and she asked to tour the house. And as they were walking out in the yard, she stopped, stunned and in awe, and tears welled up in her eyes. What she saw was a 35-foot holly tree in place of a little tiny one that she had planted as a little girl. So those are the kinds of stories we're looking for. Or that's one story. There are all kinds of stories out there. There are exotic places that people have gotten trees, one from a World's Fair or something that somebody brought back and planted in their yard. Any nice story you have to share about it. So we're taking nominations until December 31st, before the stroke of midnight. We will coordinate either a panel of foresters or a People's Choice voting system. We have yet to work out those details, but that is coming soon. So in addition to the Big Bad Tree Challenge, we are promoting those activities that Ann mentioned, especially tomorrow. Carol Hummel is visiting. She's a visiting artist. Okay. Tomorrow, Carol Hummel is a visiting artist who is going to be creating a knitted tree cozy for a huge tree out on the Creative Arts Center campus. And it's going to be positioned near Patterson Drive. Tomorrow night, she's going to start corralling knitters and with needles and yarn at the Arts Mon Center at 201 High Street. Arts Mon. Okay. And Carol will also be presenting on Thursday at the Village at Heritage Point at 7 p.m. So both events are at 7 p.m. And then in 1 month, in September, she will return to complete the project and install the cozy and install the knit all up the tree. It is just a spectacular event. So we have that to look forward to in September. In October, there are going to be arts. There's a shady art exhibit. There's an Audubon walk in White Park, Arbor Day planting on the 12th, and the Green Team workshop also on the 12th. There will be a peace tree ceremony in October, also a botanic garden walk towards the end of October. November and December will also have, there will also be 2 other hikes, one led by Ray Hicks, who is a retired forestry professor. And on November 3rd, it will be called A Brisk Walk in the Forest. And December 1st, there will be another walk led by George Longenecker. So anyway, in closing, I would just like to say, as Anne quoted earlier today, it is our hope that Morgantown, as we go into the future and beyond Year of the Tree, we will continue to build community by acknowledging the good fortune and the great gifts that bind us all together. So we want to thank the council again for having us and listening to our presentation. Thanks.
We have something, if you want to come up here, just to, I guess, do we keep this here or do we get this here? Yeah. We want to show you something that we received on your behalf that you maybe don't know about yet. So if you all want to come, how do I do this? We're going to stand right in front there. We're going to just stand up here. We're going to read this. Okay. Is this on? Good. Thank you. So come stand right up. Okay. So what this is, pardon me.
That's okay.
What this is, the West Virginia Municipal League recognized your efforts this year. So it's from 2012 to 2013, All-Star Community Award Enrichment category, presented to the City of Morgantown in recognition for exceptional performance and innovative contributions to a progressive municipal government. And it was for the Year of the Tree. That's fabulous. Thank you.